Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, in a quiet village by the edge of a deep, mysterious forest, there lived a cheerful little girl with a bright red cloak. It was a gift from her grandmother, made with such love and care that the girl wore it every day. The cloak's brilliant red hood made her easy to spot, so much that everyone fondly called her Little Red Riding Hood. One sunny morning, Little Red's mother filled a basket with freshly baked bread, warm soup, and sweet treats. "Your grandmother is feeling ill," her mother said gently, pressing the basket into her hands with a smile. "Take this to her. It will lift her spirits. But remember," her mother added, her voice growing firm, "stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood nodded with excitement, promising to be careful. With the warm sun above and the enchanting forest path ahead, she skipped off on her journey, blissfully unaware of the unexpected adventure waiting in the woods. Along the way, she saw beautiful wildflowers and thought, "Grandma would love these." She stepped off the path to pick some, forgetting her mother's advice. Just then, a big bad wolf appeared.
"Good day, little girl. Where are you going?"
he asked in a deep, smooth voice. Little Red Riding Hood, not realizing the wolf's trickery, replied, forgetting again her mother's advice. "I'm going to my grandmother's house to bring her food. She's not feeling well." The wolf's eyes gleamed with hunger, but he smiled sweetly.
"How kind of you! And where does your grandmother live exactly?"
"In the little yellow house at the end of the forest." The wolf grinned and quickly came up with a plan.
"Why not pick more flowers? Grandma will be so pleased. Then you can take the shortcut around the trees and reach her faster."
Thrilled, Little Red Riding Hood kept gathering flowers while the wolf hurried ahead to the grandmother's house. The wolf arrived, knocked on the door, and pretending to be Little Red, said,
"It's me, Grandma. I've brought you food and flowers."
Grandmother, weak from her illness, called out, "Come in, dear. I left the door unlocked for you." The wolf burst into the house, grabbed the grandmother, hid her, and quickly put on her nightgown and cap. He jumped into bed, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood to arrive. A short while later, Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. "Grandma, it's me."
"Come in, my dear,"
the wolf replied in a raspy voice. Little Red entered, but something felt odd. At first, she thought it was just because her grandmother was sick, but then she looked a bit closer and noticed. "Grandma, what big ears you have!"
"All the better to hear you with, my dear."
"And what big eyes you have!" she said, stepping closer.
"All the better to see you with, my dear."
Little Red took another step and exclaimed, "But Grandma, what big hairy hands you have!"
"All the better to catch you with."
The wolf roared, jumping out of bed and lunging toward her. Little Red Riding Hood screamed and tried to escape, but the wolf was quick and strong. He grabbed her tightly and growled maliciously.
"Yum, yum. What a feast I'll have tonight."
Fortunately, just then, a woodsman passing by heard Little Red's cries and burst in. He rushed inside, grabbed the wolf, and freed the little girl. Then, with great effort, he shook the wolf until he confessed where he hid the grandmother. The wolf, terrified, bolted out the door and ran off into the forest, never to be seen again. Little Red Riding Hood hugged her grandmother tightly and promised never to stray from the path or talk to strangers again. From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood lived happily and carefully, always remembering the lesson learned.